Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another sort of Convallaria video. And finally, today, actually 10 hours ago, as of recording this video, we got confirmation that Safiyyah is going to be the next character dropping in the global version of the game. The Shadowy Rose banner will go live on October 11th on global, and this is one of the most hyped banners really since Gloria, in my opinion. And if we look at the tier list, it shows that out, right? Safiyyah is going to be the strongest seeker that we have in the game. She's a step above somebody like Cole, who has been getting a ton of play on the global version, but Safiyyah is that power creep up. So if the point of this video, if you're watching this video to say, should I pull for Safiyyah based on her power, the TLDR is yes, you won't regret it. Now we're going to go through her whole kit. I'll show you why she's as powerful as people say she is. But if all you wanted to know is like where she ranked in a tier list, there you go. Tier 0 character. She's really, really good. And that's why we're going to break her down piece by piece. Now, let's go ahead and start doing that. First of all, her trait. Her trait is Thorny Rose. At the start of the turn, Safiyyah locks onto one random enemy within 4 tiles of herself and inflict the Hangman's Mark for 1 turn. This is a big deal. She plays around the Hangman's Mark a lot with her kit, with her passive, just with this trait, right? Enemy that has the Hangman's Mark, she will deal additional physical damage equal to 16% of their target's HP, but no more than 150% of her attack. So this does not scale infinitely with the target's HP, but it will be a ton of extra damage that she's inflicting onto bosses or enemies based on the fact if they are marked or not. And she will play, therefore, really well in teams with people that can inflict Hangman's Mark easily. For me, somebody like Nungal comes to mind, where if you take Nungal and run her auto attack replacement with Marking Bullet, she can put Hangman's Mark for 2 turns on any unit that she auto attacks if she has her basic attack replaced with Marking Bullet. So there's a lot of synergy there for Safiyyah and anybody who either takes advantage of Hangman's Mark, because she'll just be putting it on people automatically with her passive ability here, or she'll do a lot more damage if she has somebody else who can inflict Hangman's Mark and keep it up all the time. Now, her basic attack is just slash, so just basic. You'll want to replace this with something else. And her level 1 skill, Hunting Impulse, is a single target attack, 130% base damage, and her crit increases by 15% before attacking. If this kills somebody, she recovers 3 energy. So if you're in a fight, for example, where you need to like kill a lot of little things, think of like the boss fight where you have to kill all the summoned turrets. If you're using this to execute turrets, you'll constantly be regaining energy, which is enough energy to keep using this skill for a big, damaging attack with a crit modifier on it. So it's actually a useful level 1 skill just walking into her kit. So that's a feather in her cap right off the bat. Okay, let's look at her upgrades. At rank 1, you're choosing between Settlement of the Hanged Man and Shadow Assault. Now, Shadow Assault's one we've seen a lot of times. Single target attack, 130% damage, and you gain dodge for 1 turn. Pretty useful for keeping people alive, but she comes with Settlement of the Hanged Man. So after an attack, if the target is dying, so 30% HP or less, and has the Hangman's Mark, here's the first, interaction of Hangman's Mark for her outside of her trait, she deals additional piercing damage equal to 30% of the target's HP. When damage is dealt, the mark will be removed. So here's a reason. If you're going to be using this to do a lot of extra burst damage to somebody, you'll want somebody to be able to reapply Hangman's Mark. That's where somebody like Nungal comes into play. Or if you're her, at the end of her turn, she's going to be just reapplying Hangman's Mark to, something within 4 tiles of her for 1 turn. If there's only like 1 boss on the field, don't know why I went all the way out of her kit. If there's only like 1 boss on the field, she'll just keep applying it to them, which is great. So here's one interaction of Hangman's Mark in her kit with bonus damage. Then at rank 3, you have Tactic, Judgment, or Shadowless Blade. And the game loves to do this to us, right? The game loves to make us choose at rank 3 usually, and sometimes at rank 7, between 2 skills that you really want to use a Castalia on. So Shadowless Blade is a support ability. Safiyyah gains Shadowless Blade for 1 turn. Now, Shadowless Blade is a buff, dodge 1 direct single target attack and react with a strike back, dealing 85% of their physical AoE damage. That it elaborates on that a little bit more. Inflicts vulnerable 2 for 2 turns and restores 2 energy. So a little bit more detail there. When she dodges, she'll deal 85% physical AoE damage to you enemies within a 3x4 area in the target direction and inflict vulnerable 2, which will increase their damage taken by 20%. And she recovers 2 energy. That's an insane insane support ability. So you're going to want that one, I think, and there's lots of instances where you might run it. Then you have Tactical Judgment, which is another support ability. It's an instant where she selects any target and changes her role to match the target. So she has the ability to take off if she has what essentially is elemental disadvantage or roll disadvantage, I guess. She can take that off. She can remove that and just become neutral to them. She'll also give herself Disguise, which decreases her damage taken by 30% and gives her 2 move. So really clever ability right here, where there's situations you're probably going to want to use that. Okay, at rank 5, you get your reaction ability, Blade Chase, or Vital Guard. Now, we've seen Vital Guard before. Vital Guard, when hit by an active attack, the damage taken is decreased by 8%. Upon receiving an active attack, if the character is dying, you gain dodge for 1 turn, can be activated up to 1 time per round. So 8% less damage and you can get dodge. Or Blade Chase, perform assisting attack against enemies with the Hangman's Mark. So if an enemy has the Hangman's Mark within 3 tiles of her, she will follow up attack dealing 50% physical damage. It can only be activated 1 time per turn, but that is such an increase of DPS on like a boss, or if you're trying to burst an enemy off the field in PvP. Having this extra little bit of like oomph in an attack for somebody who's marked, and again, she can provide that mark herself just passively with her, passive ability. Really good skill right here. You're going to want to take Blade Chase, I think. Then at rank 7, she has a unique little commander skill right here. For all allies within 5 tiles of her, gain 15% bonus attack when attacking somebody with Hangman's Mark. So all about Hangman's Mark. And this is crazy because this will give every ally in your team 15% bonus attack, like regardless of what faction they're from, what role they play. Everybody gets it, and that's what makes this really special. You're going to want that. Then she also has Anti-Espionage Order on rank 7, which this is Safiyyah summons 1 HM agent. We'll look at that more here in a minute. Behind the target, inheriting 85% of her stats. Inflicts the Hangman's Mark. There you go, Hangman's Mark. You're going to want that. And physical defense down and magic defense down 2 on the target for 2 turns. So very useful skill right here. Debuff, Hangman's Mark, and summons this HM agent, a summon unit that can swap positions with allies, dealing AoE damage to enemies within a certain range upon dying, and inflicts 2 level 2 debuffs. So you summon an agent, it swaps with an ally, dies, explodes, does damage, and debuffs the enemies. Like insane ability. Both these rank 7 abilities you're going to want. Okay, rank 9. Auto attack replacement. You have team attack or ceiling attack. Ceiling attack, we've seen a lot before, has the ability to turn off passive skills on injured targets, still just does 100% damage. Team attack is a single target attack, deals only 80% physical damage, but grants speed 3 and attack 1 to her closest ally. So a nice little bit of support here for somebody else that she's tag teaming with to eliminate enemies. I think you're going to want to take team attack about every time. And then at rank 11, you are choosing between Weapon Eroder and Army Bane Blade. Both of these look pretty good. Army Bane Blade is a single target 170% damage attack. Before attacking, inflicts Isolate on the target, so makes them immune to leader auras for 1 turn, and inflicts Assist off, so they can't be assisted for 2 turns. So big damage attack that debuffs them in terms of like not being able to be helped by their allies anymore. Or you have Weapon Eroder. Single target attack deals piercing damage equal to 30% of the target's HP. 30% of their HP. Now, look, I believe that like bosses and things have immunity to just taking 30% of their HP and damage. If they don't, if anything has a ton of HP and doesn't have some kind of buff or debuff or something where like it just prevents them from taking literally 30% of their HP and damage, this is insane. But we'll see. 30% target's HP and inflicts attack -2, so debuffs their physical and magic attack by 20%. A very good bossing skill right here. We'll have to see how it plays out in an actual boss fight. Like if it actually hits as hard as it looks like it does, that's crazy. But those are all of the things that Safiyyah can do. So I think the like TLDR here, if you're wondering if you should pull her or not, I think she's like a must pull if you care about the meta. She's a really cool looking character. So if you care about like the aesthetic value of a character, I think that's there as well. And I'm very excited for this unit. Very excited. She was one of my targets when the game came out. I didn't realize how long it would be until she would drop in global, but she's finally here. I haven't spent much currency in a while as I've been kind of taking a sort of break from just gaming in general, but welcome Safiyyah. Excited to see you. Yes, you should pull if you want her. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.